Okay. So Python is an open source programming language. Now, if you are comfortable with typing, type it, or else write it on pen paper. I will share the notes with you at the end of the session. Let us not waste time on typing. So best suited for data science. There are other utilities of Python also, but the primary utility is data science. The backend programming is Java. The backend programming is Java. Now, Python is what happened? Anaconda Navigator. Go to Anaconda Navigator. Python is now predefined function oriented structure and requirement for coding is minimal. So what happened is, to make the Python easily usable for non-technology guys or non-tech guys or non-programming guys, they converted the programming structure into a predefined function structure. Now, all of you are familiar with Excel, right? Microsoft Excel. In Excel, everything is predefined function is equal to average, open brackets, and you give the data, you will get the values. Is equal to median, is equal to count. So they are predefined functions. Microsoft Excel is all predefined functions. Very rarely we use VBA coding in Microsoft Excel these days, because everything is pre-coded. VLOOKUP, if statement, everything is pre-coded or predefined into a function. So you just need to use the function name followed by parentheses and you give the data reference. Post 2017, Excel is now completely predefined functions. Requirement for VBA programming or creating macros. Even macros also is now click of a button. There is no need to do anything. You just need to on and off the macro button, it will automatically record. So the predefined function oriented structure is also what Python guys have adopted since 2016. Because of the competition from R and Excel and all those things. So Python community decided to convert all the, prior to 2016, it is a purely programming language. Just like how your Java, C and .NET used to work, Python was also a purely programming language. But post 2016, once the decision is made, after the 2019 version, everything is coded into predefined functions. Now the requirement for coding is very, very minimal. Even that is also, we use predefined functions only. For coding purpose also, we use predefined functions. So large scale, what you call the pages of code you required, everything is pre-coded into a small function name. All you have to do is use that simple function name and it will run the complete code. Backend coding is still there, which is done by the community guys into functions. They converted the codes into functions so that it is easy for people to use. You will find the backend codes in the documentation online, where you can see the complete code behind the functions. It is open source. All the function codes are in GitHub. You can directly download them and you can do whatever alterations you want to the codes, and you can create your own functions also. No need to write functions from scratch. There is no need to write functions from scratch. That is what Python guys have done. So within Python, the basic data structure is arrays or lists. Arrays or lists is the basic data structure which is used by Python. They start and end with square brackets and elements in the brackets, elements are separated by comma. The fundamental data structure of Python is arrays, also called as lists. They start and end with square brackets, and elements within the brackets are separated by comma. Which one? Shift enter. Keyboard shortcut for running the cell is shift enter. Or you have the run. So arrays are mutable. Mutable means you can edit them, you can append them. Edit or append means you can add, delete, you can change the order, all those things can be done. Mutable means you can edit the array. You can edit means you can add elements to the array, you can remove the elements for the array, you can change the positioning of the elements within the array. So arrays are mutable. Allow multiple data types. You can have multiple data types within a single array. And also duplicates. You can also have duplicates in an array. So array is the fundamental data structure of Python that start and end with square brackets. Elements are separated by comma. Arrays are mutable or appendable or editable. They allow multiple data types and also allow duplicates. Duplicates means element duplicates. Take for example, num array is equal to square bracket 23, 45, 66, 12, 100, 78, 90. And they are unordered. One more thing is unordered. They are unordered. Print num array. Now for auto filling, type the first three letters and press the tab on your laptop, autofill will work. First three letters and then the tab on your laptop left side, it will autofill. Print num array. Now you can see here, there is no order. The output is unordered. So I didn't give duplicates, right? Similarly, character array, square bracket, either you can use double quotes or you can use single quotes. Even if you give numbers in quotes, it becomes a character. Character array, single quotes or double quotes. You can either use single quotes or double quotes. Huh? My screen is okay. That has to be filtered. Breakfast. Can you do it? Just fill that projector now. Can you use it? Okay. I think I have to reduce the size, display size. Why is it coming like this? Yeah, now it is coming correct, right? No, any function, three letters and tab. Any function, three letters and tab. All of you can see the font size, or you want me to increase it slightly? Enough? Similarly, you can also have a mixed array. Let me copy from here. You also type the array in the sense. So print is a predefined function. That's why we are using parentheses. Every function in Python will have parentheses or round brackets. So every cell must be run. You can either use run on top or keyboard shortcut is shift plus enter. Either use run or shift plus enter. Run you can see below cell here on top. Every cell must be run. Simply typing is not enough. Which one? Cell cutting.
If I want to get the cell back.
We want to get the cell back. Undo, delete cell, something is there. Control Z. You can use Control Z. Windows side, left side, and left side. I'm going to folder. There on top is A is top only, right? Why are you I'm going to folder. That's all. I'm going to folder. Then you will see Jupyter notebook. Jupyter notebook above. Click on it. So, there is some problem with your open your Google Chrome. There comes antivirus or something blocking it. Go back to that back screen. Copy the last screen. Go to Google Chrome, open a new page. Google Chrome. Enter. Hello. So navigator is not launching. You have to uninstall and reinstall everything. There's some error by the installation. Do it later. Time being, use Google Colab. Go to Google Collaboratory and use Google Colab. See, if anybody is having problem, try uninstalling and reinstalling at home because uninstallation will take time. Use the online version. Google Collaboratory. File, new notebook. You will get the new notebook in Google Collaboratory. Same Jupyter notebook you will get. You can use it there. It will automatically save in your Google Drive. It will create a folder and it will save it there. Anybody is having problem, try uninstall, uninstallation and reinstallation has to be done. Do it at home because uninstallation will take a lot of time. For today, you can use this Collaboratory. Click on new notebook and new Jupyter notebook will open. It automatically saves in your Google Drive, so no need of worrying. Same Jupyter cell-based environment. It's working. Hmm. Okay, so all of you done with the list? Function always has a parenthesis. Except parenthesis, you cannot use anything else for functions. Print is a function, predefined function. See, predefined functions in Python. The structure is function name in small letters, followed by parenthesis. The function name in lowercase, followed by round brackets or parenthesis. This is the syntax for predefined functions. Print is a predefined function. Every predefined function in Python must have parentheses, except 2 or 3, where we have an exception like shape and D types. The rest of all functions must have parentheses. Either parenthesis will be null, or you have to give arguments in parentheses. Either parenthesis is null, or arguments given in parenthesis. Null means empty, but parenthesis is a must. Function name followed by parenthesis is must. And you can see print is the predefined function here. All right. The next important data structure is tuples. Tuples are immutable data structure that start and end with round brackets or parentheses. Immutable. That means you cannot append them, you cannot edit them. Tuples are immutable data types. They are immutable data types that start and end with round brackets or parentheses. Tuples allow duplicates and unordered mixed data types. So num tuple is equal to and all Windows commands will work. Control C, Control V, everything will work. So tuples are immutable. They cannot be edited or appended. They are not editable or appendable.
What is the difference between array and body? Main difference.
What is the main difference? Mutable versus immutable. They are editable, these are uneditable. That is the major difference. That is the only difference. Arrays are editable, these are not editable. You cannot edit a tuple. Once you create it, it's there. You cannot add, you cannot delete, it is there. Arrays, you can do anything you want with arrays. You can add elements, you can drop elements, you can change the position of the elements. But in case of tuples, you can't do anything. Once you create it, that's it. They are immutable. Immutable means you cannot edit them. You want to edit a tuple, you have to convert it into a list. Done? Hello. Yeah. No, I don't do the training. Right now I don't have any trainings dates available till December. All right. The next important data structure is sets. Sets are mutable data structures that start and end with curly brackets. Sets do not allow duplicates. Sets do not allow duplicates. Num set is equal to curly braces sets. So unordered and order is not there. They are unordered and does not, only thing in sets is it does not allow duplicates. The major thing in sets is it does not allow duplicates. All right. All right. The next data structure is dictionary. Dictionary is key value pair and start and end with curly braces. Key is the text and value is number separated by colon. Key value pairs. Picked one is equal to curly brackets male colon 1 comma female colon 0. Print picked 1. Key value pairs. Dictionaries are key value pairs. Key is the text, value is the numerical assigned to that particular text. Colon is the separator. So these are the key differences between list versus set versus dictionary and tuple. So the usage is also given here. Sets are used when when you have to eliminate duplicate entries and uniqueness of the elements is required. When you want your data should have unique elements and no duplicates, then use sets. List, you can use it as the basic data structure. It will allow duplicates or order, everything. Dictionaries, when you need a logical association, like male is equal to 0, female is equal to 1, then you will use dictionaries. Dictionaries also acts like a lookup. You know lookups, right? VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP in Excel. Vertical lookup sort of a thing is done in dictionaries. So dictionaries also has a lookup. And dictionaries are also used when you want to modify your data constantly. When you are trying to modify your key value pairs constantly, use dictionaries. And tuple is used when you don't want to change your data, particularly in image processing. Once you convert the picture into pixels, you don't want to change that pixels data, right? It has to be a tuple. Converting an image into pixels or numbers, that's it. You have to just output has to be a tuple. You can't change it, you cannot alter it because that is based on an image. So there you will see tuples. The output of conversion of image into numbers, we call it as pixel conversion, pixels, 0 to 255, RGB, red, green and blue pixel, 0 to 255. The numbers are, once you convert it, the output will be a tuple. You cannot change the numbers in an image pixel. If you change it, the image will also change, right? So there we use tuples. When you don't want to change any data, you use tuples. So this is the difference between these three types of list versus set versus dictionary versus tuples. Now there are other data structures also available in Python, but in data science we use these four predominantly. These are the four types of data structures which we use in data science, particularly to normal businesses. If you are using geospatial data, maps or geological data or satellite imagery data, latitude, longitude data, that's different data structures. There are different data structures available for geospatial data. Geospatial data means latitudes, longitudes, your what you call coordinates. We call them as geographical coordinates. There it's a different data structure, geospatial. Similarly, in astronomy and what we call space, there is a different data structures. They're also used based on physics, astrophysics. So there are a lot of data structures which are supported by Python, but the one which we use in normal business, say banking, financial services, insurance, retail, all those normal businesses, these are the four data structures we commonly find in data. Okay. So these are the four important types of data sets. In interviews, they'll ask you basic questions regarding, even in MCQs tests, we are seeing questions related to these concepts. So these are very important concepts. You have to remember them. So any doubts till now? So if you want to add an image to your notebook, first convert the cell to markdown. First convert the cell to markdown. If you want to add image to your notebook, first create an empty cell, then convert the cell type to markdown. Okay. Then you go to the image, right click, copy image. The image link will come. All you have to do is in the markdown cell, you paste the image link and then shift plus enter. Then shift plus enter, you will get the image in the notebook. So we will be using, I will be using a lot of these notes regarding formulas, equations, as we go through. The notes will be also given to you like this. So when you have detailed notes in that particular notebook, it will be shared as an IPNB file. Jupyter Notebook basic file is .ipynb file. So I will also share it as PDF file for your note reference, notes, wherever there is a significant amount of notes, or when I'm dealing with lot of concept, the files will be shared as .ipynb and also as PDF. So that PDF you can open anywhere and you can read the notes. Okay. So any doubts? Okay, can we move ahead? Now, indexing or accessing the elements of list. This is also very important. Indexing or accessing elements of list. See, same process can be executed on tuples, same can be executed on sets, same can be executed on dictionaries. Indexing or accessing specific elements of the list. One of the most important thing you need to understand is Python starts from 0. When you start counting, Python starts from 0. That you need to understand. Python starts from 0. There is always a 0 element, 0 row, 0 column. So 0 element, 0 row, 0 column. If the data is in a table structure, table means rows and columns, there will be 0 row, 0 column. So when you start counting, you should always start with 0. And outer index number will be ignored. Outer index number will be ignored. Say, if you give 0 colon 4, it will give you 0, 1, 2, 3 only. It will not give you the fourth element. The outer index number will be ignored. That is another thing in Python. If you say 0 colon 4, it will give you 0 element, first element, second and third only. It will not go to the fourth element. So the outer index number will be ignored. Now we have already created a list. Print num list. This is a num array, right? We have used the word array. This is our num array. Copy the same, Control C, num array, square bracket 0. Square bracket 0. 0 gives you the first element. So it always starts with 0. Print num array, square bracket -1. What is -1 here? Last element. This is the first element. If you want to access the last element, it is -1. Zero comma 3 comma 6. Oh, what happened? So multiple arguments. We have to give it as double square. Correct? print, sorry, print type of num array. Class list. Print len num array. 9. Length or number of elements in the array is 9. This gives you the type, data structure type. Data structure. Class or data structure is, class is the programming language word we use for data structure. Class is the programming, what you call inherent word. Keyword. Keyword used for data structure is class. Count of elements in array. Why we are not getting specific elements of array? Okay. Now, if you want specific elements, let us say I want element number 0, 4, 8. Print num array square bracket b. Oh. Must be integers or slices, not list. Why it is saying like this? I think we have to use the loop only. For loop has to be written. When we do for loop, that time I'll explain it. For accessing multiple elements, you have to write a for loop. Hmm?
Object is not for.
Where,
Object is not for.
where you are getting the error? Which function?
Running the not. Brain.
What is the name you have given on top?
I've checked with that, sir. Being data one and. getting-
No. See, it should exactly match what you have given here. Just check, I'm coming 1 second. First change the cell to markdown, copy image. Go to cell type, markdown. Click on it. Now paste it, control V. Now shift enter. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Let's take a 15-minute break and come back. Location 0, 1, 2, 3, na? Done? Character array dot pop 3 print character array. Removes element at position 3. Pop will remove element at specific location. In the previous instance, I inserted third position data science. Now I am popping it. Popping means it will remove it. Array dot reverse. Print array. Reverses the order. They are all functions. Wherever there is a parenthesis next to the word, that is function. That's what now it's on the top. Removed. Function methods, list of function methods that are applied on lists. Reverses the list. Num array dot sort print num array. Ascending order sort. Got it? So these are the popular methods which we need to understand in relevance to data science. Because these will be, you may not use them directly, but these will be the backend functions within lot of predefined functions. So any doubts on the list functions? So this is the basic Python things which you need to understand. As we go through the curriculum, I will also take you through various programming requirements as and when required. Okay. Now let us understand the libraries or packages that are important for data science. So Python has thousands of libraries for various what you call various purposes and various subjects. So Python covers a lot of subjects: physics, astronomy, mathematics, statistics, data science, machine learning, deep learning. So there are different libraries or packages within Python that are developed by the community and organizations for various purposes. Now, the most important libraries which we need to import as and when we work on Python are these libraries. The first one is Pandas. Pandas is a library for data frame based operations. Data frame based operations like import, export, merge, concat, reshape, etc. There are thousands of predefined functions in this Pandas library that work on data frames. Now, what is a data frame? Data frame, also referred as data table in Excel, is by default rows are observations and columns are variables. Data frame structure, also referred to as table structure or data table structure in Excel, is by default rows or observations, columns are variables. So most of the time when you download data, it will be in a table format or a data frame format. Whenever you download data from a database like Oracle, SAP, or MongoDB, or any other open source data database, you will download it as a table. Right? Create table, and then you give the parameters, and then you download the table. Or you will use the select function, create a temporary table using the select functions, and export the table to CSV file. That's what we do in Excel. We use select function, and once you give the parameters of what all columns you want, what all conditions you want to meet, group bys, order bys, all these things, that will generate a table. That table you export it into CSV file. By default, the CSV file in SQL. Whether if it is a large data, it is TSV file. Tab separated values. So whenever you download any data, it will be in the form of a table or a data frame. By default, it is rows are observations, columns are variables. So Pandas, whenever you import the data into Python using Pandas as a data frame, there are a lot of functions you can do. Indexing functions are there in Pandas. Date time functions are there if you are dealing with dates. joining and merging functions are there. Different types of joins are there. Left join, inner join, right join, concatenations are there. Row-wise concatenations, column-wise concatenations, reshaping the data, resampling the data. So there are thousands of functions within this pandas library, which are meant to work on tables, meant to work on data tables. The second library which you import is matplotlib.pyplot. Data visualization library. By the way, Pandas also has plots. Pandas also has plots, charts based. But if you are looking for altering plot sizes, altering plot window size, alter axis values, you cannot do in Pandas plot. There you have to use matplotlib. In Pandas also we have plotting. You can do graphs using Pandas library also. Line plot, bar plot, pie chart, histogram, box plot, density curve, all of them can be done in Pandas also. But the plot is fixed. The shape and size of the plot is fixed in Pandas. If you want to change the shape of the plot window, if you want to increase the subplots, you want to reduce the plots, or you want to alter the axis values, then you need to use this matplotlib.pyplot. Or you want to break the plot window into multiple subplots, row-wise and column-wise. Then you need to have this matplotlib.pyplot. The third and the core library of Python is NumPy. Array or list-based operations. This is the core library of Python for data science. Array or list-based operations. So this is a very, very important library, which is the core library of Python for data science, NumPy. Without NumPy, you cannot do any sort of computations. For all types of computations, be it statistical, mathematical, machine learning, etc., NumPy is required. NumPy is the most important library. If you want to do anything, see, in Pandas, you can only do selections. You can only do basic things in Pandas, but some point of time you have to run algorithms. You have to do statistical methods. Then you have to go to NumPy library. Without NumPy library, you cannot do statistical, methods, mathematical methods, or machine learning, or anything. So if you are looking at NumPy, this is the most important library, and it has huge range of functions that are related to various processes. Quantum computing, statistical computing, signal processing, image processing, astronomy, bioinformatics, mathematical, chemistry, geoscience, all the required computational methods for these subjects are available in NumPy. So NumPy is the core library within Python. It has all the required analysis. So suppose if you want to do machine learning, we need sklearn, which is again a library within, sub-library within NumPy. So NumPy has a lot of sub-libraries related to these subject areas. A lot of sub-libraries are there within NumPy related to these subject areas. Now, sub-packages of NumPy which are very important for us is scipy.stats. This is for statistics. Scipy.stats is a library for statistics, which is a subpackage of NumPy. So if you import NumPy, this will automatically get imported. Stats models. This is for IoT or time series data. And the most important one, sklearn. This is the core machine learning library of Python. All the processes and functions required for doing machine learning are available in sklearn, which is a sub-library of NumPy. Scikit-learn or sklearn. This is the core library for machine learning in Python. It has all the processes that required: classification, regression, clustering, pre-processing, dimensionality, model selection. So all the things which are required to build a machine learning model are available in this library. Scikit-learn or sklearn, which is the exclusive library for machine learning in Python, which is a sub package of NumPy. So once you import NumPy, this library is also imported. So these are the sub packages of NumPy which you need for our curriculum as well as for core machine learning. Now, there are other libraries within Python which are to be installed. Now, Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib already there in Anaconda. They are already there in Anaconda Python. All you have to do is import them. You don't need to install them. You just need to import them because they are already installed in Anaconda Python. It's a pre-installed version. But there are other libraries which need to be installed. Okay. So if you are looking at libraries that need to be installed, is NLTK, text block, Spacy. This is for natural language processing. What is natural language processing? Text data, dealing with text data. Only text is natural language processing. Text mining, speech translation, autofilling, language translations, all these things will come under NLP. It's a very large subject area, one of the highest paid areas in data science. One of the complicated, and if you can put effort and learn NLP, it's a little bit difficult and complicated, but NLP pays highest salaries in the data science field compared to the base ones. Because NLP, as of now on the internet and World Wide Web, 65% is text. Till next 5 years, it will be like that only. After that, images might take over, but as of now, 65% is text. And for every company, text is important. Facebook, Amazon, Google, Twitter, everything is text oriented, right? They have images also, but compared to images, text is more than things. Amazon's, Flipkart, the reviews, lot of product descriptions, item descriptions, all these things are in text. So text is a big business. NLP is a big business. Still pioneered by Amazon, Google, Facebook. These guys have a lot of work going on in NLP, and there are a lot of startups which work on NLP. Then comes your TensorFlow, developed by Google, Keras for image processing. Even OpenCV. Image processing or dealing with images. TensorFlow, Keras, and OpenCV. TensorFlow is developed by Google for images. It's a completely different data structure. For image, large-scale image processing, including medical diagnostics, image classifications, image tagging. Again, a big business. One of the difficult tasks. NLP and image processing are equally difficult to learn, but if you can learn them and if you understand the algorithms and the task properly, if you work on this data, and if you have at least 50% skill set in this data, you will get at least 8 to 10 lakh per annum salaries outright at a beginning stage, because these are the ones which industry requires. So TensorFlow, Keras, OpenCV for image processing. These are the libraries to be installed. They are not there in Anaconda. We have to install them later when we work on this type of data. We will install these libraries. So broadly speaking, these are the libraries that we will be working upon in our Python data science course. After image processing, I think your curriculum is still image processing. There are things after image processing like geospatial imaging or what you call medical diagnostics. Lot of healthcare related things are there, but they are all function specific. So the image processing basics we will teach you, the basic algorithms I will teach you. Because we have limitation in terms of, because you can't run them on your CPU. For image processing, you need GPUs, graphical processing units. Google Colaboratory is one where you find free GPUs, 13 GB GPUs are there. So you can do small data things when you are dealing with large scale data, 10 GB of images and all, even Google Colab will take hours to process the data. So there are certain restrictions on image processing and NLP. The ones which we can handle on a GPU or a CPU level, we can do them. But there are algorithms like ResNet, AlexNet, which require computational data centers and large scale server computing power. So they are different things. Those things mostly are available on cloud, Google Cloud or AWS or GCP, Azure. So there you can access them. Once you join the companies will give access to these computing, they rent it off. So if you are looking at current rate for per CPU or per GPU, it is around 20,000 per GPU per hour. So how many GPUs required, you have to specify based on the data you have, which model you are running and all. Accordingly, you have to buy the computing power accordingly. How many GPUs required, how many hours you required, and accordingly, you have to create those things on the cloud. They are easily done on cloud. No programming knowledge required. Purely just click off a button. The AWS guys will tell you how to do it, or you can directly follow the documentation and create your own GPUs. But the billing is costly. If you look at a GPU laptop, it costs around 1,50,000. I think the lowest GPU laptop in the gaming laptops are all GPU laptops, right? Gaming laptop starts at 90,000. Asus, a good one goes up to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs also are there. And Mac is all GPUs. That is why Macs are costly. So GPUs and all are required for large scale computings, which you cannot do on CPUs. Okay. Any doubts? So whenever you start any Python project, you have to import the 3 basic libraries. Import pandas as PD. Import NumPy as NP. You are giving short name. Import matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT. Percentage matplotlib inline. So whenever you start, these 4 lines are important. The first thing you have to do is import pandas as PD. PD means you are giving short name to the pandas library. Because if you want to use a function in the particular library, the syntax is library name dot function name followed by parentheses. So every time using instead of pandas, you can simply refer to it as PD. PD dot function name. NumPy, NP dot function name. That is the standard syntax of Python. So import pandas as PD, NumPy as NP, matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT, And the fourth line is to see the graph or the chart immediately after the cell. Percentage matplotlib inline. What Python does is it stores the images as PNG files in documents. Instead of doing it, if you want to display the image immediately after the cell, the fourth line is required. Percentage matplotlib inline. That means instead of storing the image as PNG file in documents, it will display the image. It will not store it there. It will simply display the image. The fourth line is for seeing the image or the chart or graph immediately after the cell. Okay. Okay. Now, all of you go to Google, Airbnb datasets. Airbnb is a popular bed and breakfast company. They pioneered the concept of bed and breakfast. So inside Airbnb.com, you will get the data shared by Airbnb, shares the data with researchers on monthly basis. Inside Airbnb.com, you can see 7th September, Amsterdam data is available. Let us see Chicago, what data is available. 14th September, Chicago data is available. So click on Control F and you can download this file, listings.csv. Just click on it, listings.csv. Inside Airbnb.com, Control F, Chicago. Control F and type CHICA. You'll get the Chicago data set for the city of Chicago. Listings.csv is the file you need to download. And create a folder anywhere on your system. Create a folder anywhere on your system and save the data in that folder. Download the listings.csv file. Okay, move the file from downloads to a folder. Create a folder called datasets anywhere on your system so that you can have the common folder for all your datasets. Got it? All of you got the dataset? Inside Airbnb.com. And Control F and search for Chicago. Listings.csv. The review data we will use for NLP. Review is all about text and all. That data we will use for NLP. And transfer the data to a folder anywhere on your system. Create a folder for data sets anywhere on your system, C drive, D drive, your choice. Got it, all of you? Or you want me to email the data set? For what? Not downloading, huh? You might have downloaded the other file. .gz file. You have to download this .csv file. Downloaded, right? Right click on the file and open with Excel. All right, all of you got the data? All of you stored it in a folder anywhere on your desktop or anywhere location. Now, I have stored the data in a folder called datasets on my desktop. All of you right click on the folder, go to properties. All of you right click on the folder where you have saved the data, go to properties, and in security tab, you will see the path of the folder, object name. Right click on the folder, properties. In properties, security tab, object name, you will see the complete path of the folder. Copy the complete path of the folder. Does the folder name also visible there? With folder name, you have the complete path, right? Copy the complete path. Import IO %CD double quotes and paste the path. Right click on the folder where you have saved the data. Go to properties. In properties, security tab. In security tab, first you will see object name, colon, and the complete path of the folder. Copy the complete path of the folder. Go to the Jupyter Notebook, import IO, %CD, space, double quotes, paste the path, and shift plus enter. So this is why we are setting up the working directory, so that you can easily access the files from that particular folder or directory. Here we have only 5, but in industry, you might be accessing 5 files, 6 files, or multiple files will be accessed. So to do that, you have to set the file path. All of you got the file path as output? Go to Python notebook, import IO, %CD, space, double quotes, and paste the path. So you'll get the path as the output. The output will be the path. Mine is Mac. Don't follow the Mac. Windows is double quotes. And the slash types is also different. Control X. Desktop. Control. Okay. Now copy the path of the folder. Right click. Properties, security, object. So there is a special file. So when you copy the path, you exactly copy the path. There should not be any before or after spaces to the copy. Exactly target. You have to copy any space before or after, it will
Insert a special character. Okay, it will be saying what a special character. In the past, it would be copied from. Where is the power? So. No, see what they do, you might have copied either before or after extra. Get it, no, it's top where is the below side? Below side. That is all. But you have to add the coordinate. In Mac, you will not do the coordinate, slash coordinate. You might have, there is a special character. It is very invalid. Directly invalid. Not select the file name. It should only select the folder. First, you get the file name. That is the procedure. They're not open here regarding Explorer matter. Right, import IO. Import IO. Next line, consider CD. Space, double quotes. Double quotes. No place for that. We have selected the something what when you select it, not select the stop. Without any special characters in the front or anything. Exactly. What to do? We are selecting file name. If you not miss file name, you are putting the desktop on the right. Select the desktop. No, you should not select the file name. File name is given in the next. You got it. Got it. See, when you're selecting the path, exactly you select. Before, after you select anything space or special character, you think you're selecting character, exactly start from C. Click on C and then scroll to the right. And then last before last letter stop and then select the last letter. If you go and select some empty characters will also get selected and that's what it is. Special characters are selected. Got it? Now what you have to do is, you will call the file with the name, whatever you have listings.csv, right? Now,
Chicago, you have to give a name. You can give any name, A1, B1, D1, your choice. Anything alphanumeric you can give, or best practice is what data that represents, you can give it, is equal to PD dot pandas dot read underscore CSV. See, there are a lot of predefined functions for different files. Read underscore HTML, read underscore JSON, read underscore Excel. So read underscore CSV. Our file is read underscore CSV, open bracket, double quotes. I have given a name as Chicago listings.csv. For all of you, it is listings.csv. For you guys, it is only listings.csv. In double quotes, simply type listings.csv. PD. Here, PD refers to pandas library. Pandas library. Read underscore CSV is the predefined function. For reading CSV files. So the Python function syntax. The Python function syntax is library name dot function name followed by parenthesis. Library name dot function name followed by parenthesis. That is the Python syntax. First, you need to select the library dot the function name and function name followed by parenthesis. In parenthesis, you will give either arguments or you will give null parenthesis. There is the Python function syntax. And always we have to assign a name before we import the data so that we can refer to the data with that particular name. Chicago BNB is the name I am giving to the data frame. You can give any name, which is alphanumeric or alphabet. You can say A is equal to, B is equal to, DF is equal to, your choice. Whatever name you want, you can give. But the best practice is you always give the name representing the data. So I am giving it as Chicago BNB. This data is for the city of Chicago, bread and breakfast data. So we have got it. Now to see what data we are doing it, see, type the first three letters and press the tab. It autofills. Type the first three letters and press the tab. It automatically fills the thing. Dot shape. Shape is an exception. Shape does not have parenthesis. Shape is an exception which doesn't have parenthesis. So if you look at shape, you got the output is a tuple. You see the output, it's a tuple, round brackets. Earlier we were getting outputs as list or arrays. Now we got the output as a tuple. What it gives you, number of rows or observations and number of variables or columns. So our data has 7,414 rows, 18 variables. Dot shape. Okay, all of you got the output? If anybody is getting error, please don't hesitate. Call me, I'll come and sort the problem.
No, not seriously. You can't name it as dot B. It has to be listings only. You can't give any special characters to the name. Run it. We don't have correction. What is the name you have to do? You see, follow the name what you have given. Don't simply blindly follow it. Because I have given not listing because I have other listing here. You will blank for all the listing. I am not begin. Everything is not defined. So Mata is very smart on this. Using like the library command, import Mata and std import numpy and repeat. There are the lines.
Before setting up the directory, you have to run these lines, right? Where are these things? You have not done this. You have not imported the libraries. Import the libraries. Add a cell. Click on it and click on the plus sign. You can add a cell. Select the thing, go to the plus sign, add a cell, and then first you have to import, then you have to do this. Okay? So shape is the first command which you run. Or the latest version, we have one more command called Chicago BNB.info. Info is a very interesting command which gives you a lot of information.
Yeah. So when you're typing that function, some read like we are getting mistake. Read underscore. Dot and tab. PD dot and tab. Press the tab on your laptop. You'll get the list of all functions. PD dot and tab. Tab. See, either library name dot tab or first three letters tab. Autofilling. What is all of them?
So info is a very important command. You can see the data structure. What is the data structure? Class pandas code data frame. The first thing it is giving you is it's a data frame. Then it is saying 7,414 or 0 to 7413. Right? 0 to 7413. Total columns is 18. And then each column's data type it is giving. Non-null means there are no missing values. Non-null means there are no missing values. Now, if you look at this neighborhood group 0, that means there is no data in that particular column. We have to delete it. Right? And it is giving the data types. What are the data types? Int 64, float 64. Object. Object is character data. Int 64 is whole number, float is decimal. And object is character data. So each variable's data type it is giving. Float 4 variables, int 8 variables, object 6 variables. 64 bit. All our laptops are 64 bit, right? Bit 32 and 64 bit, right? We are using Python 64 bit. So it's a 64 bit. There is 32 bit version also, which runs with 2.9 and 2.8. We are all using 3.9, right? Which is for 64 bit. Below na number of float, number of integer columns, number of object columns. Count of the floats, count of the ints, count of the objects. And you are missing values, see? These two columns, the value is less than 7414, right? Yes. Which means there are missing values. Even last column, license, has missing values, which is less than anything less than 7414. That means that column has missing values. If it is 0, it means the whole column is empty. The whole column is empty. All we have to do is drop it. Missing values, depending on the variable, we can try to fill them or we can keep them as it is. Okay. So info is a very, very important function which gives you detailed output about the data you are dealing with. The data is a data frame, table structure, right? CSV. Then 0 to 7413 rows. Total is 7414, including 0. Then 18 variables or 18 columns. Then each column name and its data type. Each column's name and its data type. And you can also see the count. If anything is less than the total count, that means it has missing values. And if it is 0, it's a null, completely empty column. And you can see different data types. Float 4 columns, object 6 columns, ints are 8 columns. Earlier it was not there. This was introduced in the last. Earlier we used to do shape separately, D type separately. So there is a function called D types also. We used to do it separately to find out the shape and D types. Now everything is aggregated into info command. The shape output, the D types output, and even the columns output. Chicago BNB dot columns, the variable names. All these things have been integrated into one function called info. So you can say data frame dot shape, D types and columns. These are the 3 exceptions. These 3 functions don't have parentheses or round brackets. Rest of all will have parentheses and round brackets. Shape, D types and columns. These 3 functions don't have brackets. Shape, D types and columns. Columns will give you the name of variables. Columns will give you the name of variables. And most of the time, the output will be a list in tuple. Right? List in a tuple. Sorry. Okay. So this is again we frequently use. Dot columns we frequently use because we have to copy the name of the columns. Right? That's the easiest method. Otherwise, you make spelling mistakes and all. To avoid it, always copy paste the name of the columns. Control C, Control V. Okay? You can select the whole, you can select the part, whatever it is. So dot columns is a very important, you need to remember whenever you want to access variables. Okay. So all of you could import the data, right? All of you got the output for info, data type, shape and columns. Yeah, can we move forward? Now, data frame name is Chicago BNB dot head. Head is a function. By default, first 5 rows of data. Dot head will give you by default the first rows of 5 rows of your data. Dot head will give you by default the first 5 rows of your data. Dot head. Now, if you want more than 5 or you want less than 5, you have to specify it as integer. Suppose I want only 3. In the bracket, you give 3, it will give only 3 rows. You want 10, you specify it as an integer in the brackets, it will give you 10 rows. So specify the integer in parenthesis for specific number of rows. Specify integer in parenthesis for specific number of rows. Now head will always start from the top. It will always start from top. If you say 10, it will give you top 10. If you say 50, top 50. Not in between. It will always start from the beginning. Head is always beginning. So if you have head, you also have tail. Tail will give you the last 5 rows of data by default. By default, it will give you the last 5 rows of data. If you say 10, from bottom, 10 rows. If you say tail 50, bottom 50 rows. Head, tail. So you don't need to select the content in the, just the cursor can be anywhere in the cell. It will be done. No need of selecting anything. Just the cursor can be anywhere on the line in the cell. It will run the cell. Dot head, dot tail, these are predefined functions. All right, done. Head and tail. Head by default, first, tail is from bottom. So these are the standard functions which you need to run whenever you import the data. To understand the basic data, what you're dealing with, the info function will give you the what you call the information about the data, and head and tail will confirm whether the output is whether the table is meeting your requirement or not. So these are the basic functions you need to run. Now, one of the important things you need to understand in here is indexing or selecting specific columns or rows. So one of the most important thing is in data science, we constantly index or select specific rows or columns. The first type of indexing is character indexing or indexing by column name. Indexing by column name. There are two methods. The first one is DF name, data frame name dot column name, or DF name, data frame name, square bracket, single quote, column name. Character indexing or indexing by name. Two methods are there. One, data frame name dot the column name. Now, the first one will work when no spaces in name. The first one will work when there are no spaces in name. If there are spaces in column name, you have to use the second method. Dot column name will work only when there are no spaces in the name. If there are spaces in the name, you have to use the second method. Like this. Chicago Airbnb dot price dot head. Price is the variable name, dot head is the function name. The column I am selecting here is price. Similarly, Chicago BNB square bracket single quote price dot head. Now the column name should exactly match. The column name should exactly match. Otherwise, it will say variable not found. You can use data frame name dot column name or data frame name square bracket single quotes or double quotes. Your choice, single quotes or double quotes, the column name. So Chicago BNB is the data frame name dot price dot head. Chicago BNB square bracket single quote price dot head. You will get the same output, right? So two methods of accessing this specific column called price. That actual data points in your table. They are your data points, rows. That's the data. First 5 rows of the data. Multiple column character index. Data frame name, double square brackets, call name, comma, call name, comma, call name. If you want to access multiple columns, for multiple columns, double square brackets, data frame name followed by double square brackets. First square bracket is for subsetting, second square bracket is list. Multiple arguments have to be given in list. Chicago BNB, double square bracket, single quote, price, comma. The next variable is what? We have these variables, minimum nights and number of reviews. Dot head. You can copy from the top columns output and paste them down. For multi-columns, by name, double square brackets.
With more than one.
If you're accessing more than one variable. Getting it, all of you? Similarly, numeric indexing. Numeric indexing or indexing by number. First, we will look at the column. Column index. Always remember, Python starts from 0. Right. So if I want the price column, so I'll go up and count the column number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 is price. So Chicago BNB dot iLocation square bracket colon comma 9 dot head. Colon comma refers to column selection. Colon comma refers to column selection. Dot iLocation, index location. Square bracket colon comma 9. If you don't give anything colon comma, it will select rows. If you give colon comma, it will select columns. If you don't give colon comma, it will select rows. Chicago BNB dot iLocation square bracket colon comma square bracket 9 comma 10 comma 11 dot head. You'll get the same 4 columns. Sorry, 3 columns. Or 9 colon 11 you can give. You can give it as, you can also give it as 9 colon 11 because they are simultaneous columns, right? You can give it as a range, or uneven you can give it in square brackets. If they are not in a range, you can give in square brackets those numbers like 23, 47, 56, 69, like that you can give different in square brackets. That's why I've used square brackets. Because what happens in real-time data is you'll have hundreds of columns. You have to subset them constantly into shorter data frames and then you will work upon it. Particularly when you have 200 variables, 300 variables, you can't work them one single time. You have to subset them. So subsetting based on your subject knowledge and your client saying what columns to be, you will subset accordingly and then you'll create new data frames. And accordingly, we will work on the data. Chicago BNB dot allocation square bracket 9:11. This is rows. If you don't give colon comma, it gives you rows. If you want columns, you have to give colon comma before. Colon comma before is column indexing. If you don't give colon comma, it will do rows. Row number 9, row number 10, and row number 11.